What's going on YouTube? It's James with Shimer Fantasy Battle Reports. I got another battle report for you today. It's ESC 2018 Zagreb, Croatia. Guys, what is going on? It's me. It's James. And I'm getting another game in at the ESC. This is my round 3. Now, guys, I jumped from table 39, which was my first game, to table 17 on my second game. Now I'm up to table 13. Holy crap. Now, I'm working my way up. I'm working my way up back to the top. I have 2 medium wins, two small wins, I should say, not really, like medium small. Both of them I probably could have got a little bit better of a score if certain things changed, went a little different. But at the same time, I got the score that I got the score. So my next game I'm playing against, I can't really say his name correctly, so I'm sorry that I butcher it, but Laurent Lapacet, and he is playing for Team Belarus. Alright, I have no fucking clue where Belarus is. I never even heard of it until literally I saw it on his t-shirt. So, anyways, guys, let's go over this game. Now, there's a lot that goes on in this game, and I'm going to explain to you from my perspective how this game went. Now, as I understand, Laurent watches my channel. He actually is a big fan of my channel. This game did leave probably a sour taste in my mouth. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be up front, but you'll see why. So let's go over what I have, what he has, and let's go over the magic. Now, first off, magic I got, like I said, the Orc and Goblin card is basically my card for Lightning Vambrace, because I didn't have a card for Lightning Vambrace. I got Cleansing Fire, Wrath of God, Hand of Heaven, and Smite the Unbeliever. Now, we're playing the diagonal. Now, my opponent has a Beast Herd army. Now, one of the things that I told my teammates from when we were doing matches and we're doing the Matrix and we're trying to figure out whatever, I said, any army, like the Beast Herds, some of the Ogre Con lists, Orc and Goblin lists, and so on and so forth, there were green matches for me. And the reason there were green matches for me was because they don't have enough shooting or any shooting to be a threat, and I could kind of get around close combat armies enough. And you'll see that in this game, and you'll see that in my Warriors game that I play in round 5, that basically I could dominate control of movements, and that is a huge part of the game. That is huge, right? So we're playing diagonal, and my opponent has, like I said, he has the Beast Herd army. Now we're doing the deployment, and right off the bat, I think I drop everything to go first. Here's his list really quick, and you can't really tell what's going on in this picture because it's all on the tray. But he has a giant block on the bottom right. He has a giant block of 8 Minotaurs. He has 2 units of Furies or Gargoyles or whatever they are. He has 2 units of Ambushing Wildhorns. He has a big block of Wildhorns with the General, BSB, and Wizard. I think the Wizard is the General. He has another small block of 6 Minotaurs. He has the 2 Gore-Tex. He has 3 Raiding Chariots and a giant unit of Wolves, probably just to fill up the core. Then he has a unit of Centaurs. For magic, he ended up getting Awaken the Beast, Break the Spirit, Chilling Howl, and Swarm of Insects. Now, as you can see, this is how the table looks. It took me about, like, I don't know, maybe like 5 or 10 minutes to deploy, but it took him a very, very, very long time to deploy, and I already knew that was an issue going into the game, because I knew that it was going to be, you know, like, if it takes that long for deployment, it's going to take a while to play the game. Now, basically, the one issue that me and him have is there's a language barrier. He's, I want to say it's like a French speaker, so he's able to speak, for his English, it's a little bit tougher for me and him to communicate, and that becomes an issue later on. Again, he's a great guy. Not saying anything wrong with the guy. The guy's a great guy. Under different circumstances, it would be awesome. But this game, it takes a little longer than normal, and I caught on to pretty early on. Now, as you can see, I go ahead and I deploy. I put my dogs on the left, my chaff on the left. I put my spider on the left. I put the K-Pack on the left. Then I go ahead and I put my 2 main blocks in the middle. The middle, it's hold the center, so we just got to get into the center. And basically, I figure Kron will be able to kind of like help buff those 2 units. My general will be fine. And then I go ahead and I put the Spider Riders on the right. Now, the Spider Riders, the scouting really suffers on the diagonal. The scouting really does suffer on the diagonal. And so basically what I do is I scout at the 18, and then I just Vanguard up to the 12, and I'm using the rock to block me from getting charged by those Minotaurs, but basically I have to kill those Centaurs this turn or else I'm in big trouble. As you can see, my dog's Vanguard up a little on the left to try to block his Sheriff. Let's go start off my turn. Orcs and Goblins turn 1. Orcs and Goblins turn 1! Now, as I just basically ran my Spider Riders right up in front of that unit of Centaurs. I'm going to shoot the shit out of them. I do a little bit of shimming with my units, but for the most part, most of my units stay put. My dogs run up to the flank though, and he's just like, and because I really didn't know if I wanted to use them for chaff, or if I wanted to use them to threaten these little like gargoyle dog flanks and stuff. And basically that's what he sees. He's like, oh shit, they're gonna basically kill my chaff if he's not careful. So magic, I got a 3 on the power flux. Go ahead and I do a lightning van brace onto these centaurs. I do 2 wounds. Basically every other spell he dispelled or I didn't cast. So I go ahead and I do shooting. I do tomahawks. I don't have a picture of it, but I killed 2 more, leaving 1 centaur alive. 1 centaur alive. And I was like, that 1 centaur is going to mess up my day. I might as well kill him. So I use the dragon staff on my freaking wizard, and I kill that unit. Over here shooting, I shoot the freaking web launcher, but it misfires, and I take a wound, and that's it for my turn. It's going to start off turn 1. Beast Herds turn 1. So he flies up the harpies right in front of Crom, right in front of my savages, and he moves up aggressively. He moves up really aggressively with he has his own forest, which is that piece of paper. He goes ahead and he moves up his minotaurs, his wizards in the unit inside the forest. So basically, he gets to reroll something on magic. I forgot what it was. Most of my shooting did nothing because it was I forgot that he had a dark forest or dark seed or dark rain, whatever. Dark rain, I think it is. He moves his dogs to basically face my dogs. He just wants a dog fight, which is actually a pretty fun idea to me. But that's how it looks. As you can see on this side, he leaves me a far charge on his chariots, and I believe I take it on the next turn. But I kind of have to at the moment. Anyways, that's how it looks on this side. Magic, he gets a 5 on the flux. Goes ahead and he does break the spirit onto my savages, which is it could really hurt my savages. But that's all that really happens. Going to start off turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. Guys, there's the first Shy Ambulance of the video. Gonna yell while it goes by. Alright. Turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. Turn 2, Orcs and Goblins. I see the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm going to call it the Wog! And I charge my chariots into his gore attack. Fails the charge. I charge my spider into his chariots. Gets in. That is huge. I charge the dogs into his dogs, because why the fuck not? Basically, I figured if I do this with the chariots, and I move my general in front of him, what's going to happen is he's going to, if I fail, which I did, he's going to countercharge. I can flee through my general. My general has a huge bubble. I'll be able to rally the chariots in the subsequent turns. I charge Crom into the gargoyles, and I actually move back with my savages and my goblins. I give more space between those minotaurs because I'm not ready just to fight them yet. This hurts me on the objective later on. Magic, I got a 2 on the flux. Go ahead and I do, as you can see, my Spider Riders are in his flank, and I start doing like Smite the Unbeliever on these Minotaurs, making them T3. Then I start shooting at them, and I end up doing 3 wounds only. Start shooting over here into his gore attack because I didn't really have anything else to shoot at. Do 2 wounds. I didn't even expect that. It just happened. And over here, I kill 1 of his dogs, but he kills 2 of mine. I have a charge and a wound. He has 2 wounds. It's not looking good for my dogs. For the spider, I don't have a picture of it, but the spider just beats the crap out of the chariot. The chariots end up running off the table, and that's it. It's going to go ahead and start off his turn. Beast Herds turn 2. Beast Herds turn 2. He charges his gore attack into my chariots. I flee. So he tries to redirect into my goblins, and I really don't care if he gets into the goblins. Honestly, I don't really care if he gets into the goblins, but he fails that anyways. As you can see, I killed the harpies, or the gargoyles, with Crom, but Crom just overruns towards the minotaurs. And I kind of did this to slow him down, but at the same time kind of pick my own battles. But at the same time, he's going to go ahead and do a far charge here with his gore attack into my savages and his minotaur into my savages. If both of them get... Oh, he failed his frenzy check. That's what it was. He failed his frenzy check, so they go ahead, and they're going to charge too. And he fails the charge with the minotaurs. The gore attack gets in alone. Up top, his other gore attack failed charge. His minotaurs get in, of course. And basically now his ambushers are popping. His 1 unit of ambushers, the wild horns, pop up behind my spiders, which actually puts me in a bad spot because now I'm pincered in between both units of wild horns. I might get away. I'll just put it that way. As you can see, that's how the other ambushers popped up behind my savages, really into the flank of my goblins. And yeah. Magic got an 8 on the power flux. Goes ahead and does Swarm of Insects onto my goblins, kills off 5 of my goblins. Whew, that was pretty nasty, actually. Over here, it does tomahawks. Actually, I think that was also the tomahawks from that unit, too. But he does tomahawks here into my goblins, kills off 4 goblins. No, he does tomahawks now and does 1 wound. Huh, interesting. That was just swarm of insects. And then over here, close combat, he rolled like a champion. He did, I think, like 8 wounds onto Crom. 8. Needing 6s. He rolled 8. And he takes the objective for the first turn. Ding! Alright. No, more. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 wounds. No, I don't know what he did here. I don't know what this roll. Oh, never mind. This is the next roll. I'm not going to show you what I just saw. So basically, his Gortak comes in, boom, into my savages. My savages, he ends up doing 2 wounds only. 2 wounds only on the impact hits. He goes ahead and he does a couple attacks, kills off a couple more of my savages, maybe. I don't even know. I go back, and now I need 5s to wounds, and here it goes. This is the picture I was looking at. I did 4, 7, I did 10 fucking wounds. 10 fucking wounds to that Gortak. That Gortak is dead. Boom! He was just like, oh shit. Now, if that Gortak would have went in with the Minotaurs, it would have been a different story, but because it did not, I just punked that Gortak. I turned my savages around entirely, just to deal with the guys who were in my flank, and he's like, oh shit. And it's going to start off my turn, Orcs and Goblins turn 3. Orcs and Goblins turn 3, and guys, I'm going to tell you right now, we have 1 hour left to play the game. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. And around right now, at the same time, my chair breaks, because the fucking ETC venue had these shitty chairs, and if you guys don't believe me, you can go onto the Facebook page, and they actually have a tally on how many chairs do you think broke. Not only that, but my opponent knocked over a whole tray, and I could go back to the first picture, a whole tray full of icons, so we end up taking time to pick it up. But at this time, I still go ahead and I declare the charge here. He sees an opportunity, he flees, and because he fled, my savages are going to fail charge, and he's going to have a nice rear charge with his Minotaurs. Okay, my Goblins charged into his Gortak. I just did a long charge. I was like, fuck it. I don't care if I get in or if I don't get in. I hope I do get in. And basically, I moved my Spider and my General to the flank of his Gortak. Yeah, that's it. Over here, I go ahead and I do my march check. I pass it, thank God, and I go ahead and I move my Spider Riders to the flank of this unit. I figure if his other unit charges me, I'll flee, and I'll flee towards my General. And Magic, I got a 5 on the Flux. Go ahead and I do a Wrath of God. This Wrath of God eventually comes down, I'm telling you right now, and it does a crazy amount of damage. I want to say this Wrath of God reached 16 inches. Eventually. This might not be the 16-inch one. Might be. I don't remember. Shooting, I'm going to go ahead and shoot my unit into his bulls here, do 1 wound. Go ahead and I shoot these guys into somebody, doesn't really matter. Over here, close combat, I end up doing 4 wounds onto the Gortak, but the Gortak beats the living shit out of my Goblins, and he sticks, and I think he even heals a wound. And as you can see, there's actually, that's the bin right there. That's the bin that he knocked over. And then over here, close combat, I think I did like a wound or 2 to his dogs. He did a wound to me. He loses combat. He runs, and my dogs chase down his other dogs. It's going to start off turn 3. Beast turns. Beast turns turn 3. Doesn't look like much happened in movement. So Magic, he ends up, he charges my savages. He fails his savage charge. I remember that. The rear charge. His other unit was at a bad angle. Couldn't see my Goblins. That was... I mean, let's go back to, I think, what picture it was. You can't really see it in the pictures. Anyways, you couldn't see my Goblins. That was like a good 10 or 15 minute conversation. And again, with a language barrier, talking about can he see them, can he not see them. Then he keeps on picking up the models and moving them, saying, look, I can see right here. And I was like, of course, when you move the models, of course he could see them. The point is, you don't move the models, and you're supposed to check to see if you can see them before you move the models. And again, it's a language barrier. It's not like he's a bad guy. It's not like he's trying to cheat me or any of that. It's just the fact that you can't explain that if you don't know the language. You know what I mean? But he's like trying to show me by picking up the model, saying he can see the corner. I'm trying to tell him he can't see the corner, and that's why I stayed where I'm at. And it was a long conversation. And now we have like 30 minutes left, and I'm like, holy crap, we're not gonna finish this game. Turn 3, he ends up doing magic. He gets 6 on the flux. Goes ahead and gives this guy the black wing totem. Goes ahead and he does tomahawks into my spider riders. Kills 2 more. He's trying to kill my BSB and my wizard. It's going to start off, I think combat. I don't think I killed the freaking Gore-Tech. I think he lives, but it's going to go ahead into turn 3 Orcs and Goblins. There's less and less pitchers right now because I'm the one facing the clock. He's facing the crowd. So since I'm facing the clock, I see it, and I'm like trying to hurry these turns up. I'm trying not to stall on pitchers. I'm trying to take pictures while I'm doing something else with my other hand. So turn 3 Orcs and Goblins. I go ahead and charge the K-Pack that rallied into this unit that rallied from the Savages. So boom, they get in. Now they should in theory just obliterate this unit in theory. Okay, over here close combat or charges. I charge the spider into the Gore-Tech, and I charge my general into his Minotaurs. Now his Minotaurs reformed to face the flank of my Goblins, but because his Minotaurs are so wide, I'm able to hit him with the general. And if the spider destroys that Gore-Tech, I'm going to be able to overrun into his unit with my spider. And right now, we are contesting the objective the last 2 turns because my goblins have been sitting there, but his other unit walked on. So he has 2 units, I have 1. So I believe he got 2 tokens, ding, on the objective. Alright, over here, I jump my 2 characters out of the unit of Spider Riders that only have 1 spider left, and I run them into the unit of Wolf Riders, because at least I have 2 Wolf Riders left. And what the Spider Rider does is Spider Rider actually runs into the ruins. He survives the rest of the game because he's just one in a set of ruins and whatever. Magic, I got a 7 on the flux. Go ahead and I do a cleansing fire onto my general. I'm not going to show you the picture yet because you're going to see what happens in the next picture. My general goes ahead and starts the fight. Let's use this picture. As you can see, what ends up happening, I'm going to show you this picture. What ends up happening is my spider goes ahead and swings at the Gore-Tech, and even though he swings first, he doesn't do anything really to my spider. My spider goes into the Gore-Tech, and I freaking rip him apart. I think I got like 3 or 4 poisons off, and he just dies. I overrun into the Minotaurs, and when I'm into the Minotaurs, he decides he is not going to challenge my general, which doesn't really matter. Like, there's people there watching our game. Most people are done with their game at this point because most people are like, you know, hey, there's only like 20 minutes left or 15 minutes left, right? And I'm just like, okay. And I'm trying to hurry it up. I'm trying to just like, let's go. And he's like, should I challenge? Should I not challenge? I was like, listen, if you don't challenge, I'm going to win. If you do challenge, I'm going to win. I'm going to kill your freaking champ, right? But his thought process is, if he does challenge, or he doesn't challenge, he's going to get more attacks into my general. The problem in his strategy here is that I have initiative 5 on both of my units, so I'm going to go ahead and swing first, and I wipe out that back row. I mean, I wipe the shit out of that back row. I end up killing, overall, all of the Minotaurs except for 2. With the cleansing fire, with my wyvern, with my spider, they're hitting them on 3s, they're doing multi-wounds, venomous surge. I wipe out that unit, and I think he had parry. I want to say he had parry, but it doesn't matter because my general is using extra hand weapons. I can just go right through it. So he ends up losing combat pretty fucking big, and he runs. Now my spider overruns to chase him and misses his general's bunker by 1 inch. I don't chase with my general because, as you could see, where his Minotaurs landed is where the comet is, and the comet hasn't came down, and I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to charge my general. He did do 1 wound onto my general, but if I charge my general into the comet, my general is probably going to die from the comet. Okay? It's going to start off turn 4, beast herds. Now, at the moment, there's like 5 minutes on the clock. I'm not shitting you. It's like pretty low, so I'm just like, let's go. We didn't do this combat over here, but as you can see, the K-Pack ended up killing off everybody except 5 fucking Longhorns. 5. So if he had like, I want to say it was 15 plus, I killed like 10. But I couldn't kill that extra one, so he sticks on a steadfast. In the next turn, that combat's going to hold for a little longer actually. But over here, He charges his Minotaurs into the rear of my K-Pack. He actually fails this charge. As you can see right now, I am holding onto the objective, I believe, for one turn. Ding! He doesn't charge into my spider, but he doesn't really have anywhere he could move. I don't know what he does. Does he back up? I don't even know what he does. I don't know. I think he just stayed there. Anyways, his other unit of Wild Horns is trying to chase down my little spider unit that's still doing magic and running away. His Minotaurs don't rally. They continue running towards the rock. And then his Furies, or his Gargoyles, are blocking my Savages. Magic he ends up doing... Break the Spirit onto the spider. I think he was expecting I to take DTs. Or just the -1 to hit. Over here, my Chariots end up killing one of his Wild Horns. He ends up doing 2 wounds, and I run, and he chases me down. That's just some bullshit. Oh, that's some bullshit. It's going to start off my turn, and there's literally 5 minutes or less in the match. And he's like, oh, we could just call the game here. And I'm like, no, man. I was like, you want to call it here. And I get why he wants to call it here. Because right now, he's holding the objective. Right now, his general's still alive. But I'm charging it with my general into his rear. I'm charging it into with my Savages into his Gargoyles. I'm charging it with my spider into his general's bunker. I'm like, this is a very crucial turn. Like, we could do it in 5 minutes. We'll do it real fast. And he's like, okay. So he agrees to do it, right? Like, I don't finish games on game 4. You guys watch all my battle reports. Everybody who watches all my battle reports, I'm used to playing 2-hour games, only 2 hours in most of the United States tournaments, and finishing the whole damn game in 2 hours while taking pictures for battle reports. And we're only getting to turn 4, and we had like 3.5, 4 hours? There's something wrong there. You know what I mean? There's something wrong there. And I understand that it could be the language barrier. I understand that it could be a plethora of things. You know what I mean? But it was just... it's just so annoying. It's really annoying. Anyways. So, like I said, there's only like 8 pictures left. So I really don't do a bad job at trying to take pictures at this point. So I don't know what happened in Magic. It looks like I gave my spider a breath weapon, strength 4. The comet comes down, and when the comet came down finally, it ended up doing it did do the 16-inch. It did a 16-inch bubble. And I'm going back to this picture because you can see the 2 Koopa dices are 6 and 6 by the comet. That's the range. So it ends up hitting. I am not shitting you. It ends up hitting the Minotaurs, my general, my spider, his bunker, his 2 Minotaurs, the Gargoyles, and my Savages. Okay? So it wipes out the back 2 ranks of the freaking unit fighting my spider. It destroys, it literally kills those Minotaurs on the right side. Okay? It kills, it does 4 fucking wounds onto my general, which I saved 2 of them. So my general is alive with 1 fucking wound remaining before combat. Before combat! And then it kills the Gargoyles that are my Savages, but he also kills my back row of Savages. Holy fuck, that combat. And I don't think it wounded the spider. I think the spider's fine. But holy crap, that was insane. I was like, holy shit, I almost killed my general. I wiped out most of his army. Holy shit. So over here, close combat, my spider just destroys the rest of his ranks, chases him down, kills his general's bunker. Over here, he gave me a fucking heart attack. He did 5 wounds. I am not shitting you. He did 5 wounds onto my general. I rolled armor saves. I made 4 armor saves, and I was like, oh my god. My mic cut out. So yeah, like I was saying, he did 5 wounds. I made 4 armor saves. I'm looking at the last ward save, and I'm just like, oh, here it goes. Here it goes. I gotta fucking fail it. It's only a 5-up ward. I can't believe I fucking have a 4. I don't have a 4-up ward item that doesn't give me a good armor save. So I was just like, fuck it. So I rolled the dice. I thought I'm dead, and I roll a 6. Oh my god, my general lives. My general in return goes ahead and he does, I think, like 6 wounds. I have a charge, a rear, 6 wounds. He's not steadfast. He's going to run. And basically, I chase that unit down. I capture it. Now, at this point, I stopped taking pictures. I think this is my last picture of the game. Maybe have one more. Maybe. I don't know. I have to look up ahead. Anyways, point being is, so the unit of Minotaurs did not rally. They're going to run through the...
I think they're dead actually from the comet. The unit of Minotaurs by my general are dead. The wild horns that kill my chariots got shot down by my BSB. This is the end of turn 5, so ding! I got the objective this turn. Now, as of right now, he is winning the objective. It's the end of turn 5. We have timed out. We cannot do a turn 6, but I'm going to be very clear, very selfish, and very blunt about this. Right now, if it is my turn 6, I'm going to say, or if it's his turn 6, either way, whoever's turn 6 is it my turn or his turn? I think it's his turn. There is nothing he can do. He has no wizard. He has no combat units. He has no shooting. He can't kill anything. The only thing he has is some tomahawks, and he can kill the one spider rider all he wants. Point is, he cannot touch the objective. So I would technically have the objective on turn 6. The problem here lies in the fact that we've been not... I'm going to be 100% honest with you. The guy that I played is a great guy. He's a fun guy. He actually is a fan of the channel. He was really fun about the whole thing. He really didn't want to for it to end on a sour note. But the point is, it ended on a sour note. It ended on a very sour note for me because it ended on turn 5. I was rushing to play the whole game. The whole damn game. And obviously I'm winning. Obviously he only has one unit left. The only thing he has killed the whole game is Crom and my K-Pack. But because he has the objective turn 5, and on turn 6 I would at least get the objective again, but he would refuse to play the turn 6 because obviously it's in his benefit. I lose the objective, and I end up getting only 14 fucking points. Or 15. No, 14. 14 points. Because I lose the objective. I would at least have a 17, which would put me higher at a better chance at the top tables because I am going into pretty high up. I have 3 wins at the ESC day 1. 3 wins! I would have been really high up on the tables. But those 3 points cost me. And, you know, and I was like, this is bullshit, dude. There's literally, if it was my turn 6 and he has 1 turn after me, I could literally just say, alright, I pass on my turn. You go. It doesn't take any time. It takes 5 seconds. Because there's nothing he could do. I don't have to kill the last unit. I already won 20-0, basically. His whole army's wiped out. There's nothing he could do turn 6, but he's like, no, time's over. So I call the ref, and the ref's like, well, time was over a while ago. You guys were really trying to push that turn 5 out. And, you know, and he goes, and the ref said, very specifically, if I suggested that the guy might be slow playing me, that I should have called the ref over earlier. The thing is, I'm not the type of player who will call out somebody on being a slow player. You know, I know certain players in America who slow play unless they're winning. You know, but you know, I wouldn't say that the guy's even a slow player. There was a language barrier. There was multiple distractions, dropping a whole trade, breaking the chair, freaking whatever, and just for whatever reason, the slowest start in history, it was just it just is so frustrating. It is extremely frustrating for me to finish here when I know for a fact I had it. You know, and there's been games where I've played where, like, I played people in America on tournaments where I know on turn 6, you know, oh, you charge my war machine, I'll give you the points for that, but I charge your unit here, you should give me the points for that. And we just know what's an automatic win or lose. It's not going to be a rollout on dice, you know what I mean, to waste more time. We just know which units are dead. And in this situation, there's no way in hell he could take the objective away. Turn 6, I would have the objective. His units are all dead. All his units are dead. And I stopped taking pictures because it was just like, I'm like trying to hurry the guy up, like, let's go. Keep rolling the dice, you know, and the magic phases were taking forever, and I was like, dude, there's not much you could do. You could break the spirit on my spider. I really don't care. I'm like, you really can't do a swarm of insects, not gonna kill it. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in there and run into your general and kill your general, you know? But it was just so frustrating. It was just so frustrating. Anyways, so that gave me a small win when it should have been a large win for me at the ESC. I'm going to go into day 2 with a 3-win streak at the ESC, which is awesome. Which is fucking great. I have a sour taste in my mouth from this game, though, and I'm dead serious. Like, my my team from Team Mexico were flying in. Some of them were coming in this day, and all I kept on talking about was this game. I was like, I can't believe I got robbed. That, like, I didn't even have to do anything. All I had to do was be like, pass my turn. And they're like, yeah, James, we heard your story 100 times already. They're like, are you still angry about that? I woke up the next day angry about it. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. The ref should have sided with me. I didn't have to do shit. He has nothing on the table. He has 1 unit on the table. One. Oh, that's brutal. That's so brutal. Alright. Anyways. Guys, that's all I got for this game. If you guys enjoy it, hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. I got 2 more games in ESC coming up before I get to the ETC games. Like I said, I've been trying to pump these out as fast as I can so that way you guys can get them. For some reason, my internet went down at work, so I don't know if I have to pay the bill or what. I don't know why it just stopped. So I'm going to have to try to upload this while I have my phone here so I can try to use my phone's internet, which is going to kill my data. Whatever. It happens. Anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it. Hit like, hit share, subscribe. If you guys can, please show your support by going onto my Patreon. I'm going to leave my Patreon down below. Anything helps. $1, $5, $10, whatever you could donate, whatever you can. Think of it like this. If there's a bum on the street who entertains you by playing a piano very shittily, I am your bum. You could throw me a buck, and that is honestly like my analogy. Anyways, guys. Alright, hope you guys enjoy this. Till next time, next game I'm going to be playing Vermin Swarm in a very frustrating game. And, yeah, till then. Oh, MVP? MVP is very simple. Very simple. You're going to see the points popping up already. But, it is the Space Rock. The Space Rock destroyed his unit of chariots, destroyed his Minotaurs, destroyed his General's bunker, his BSB, and I don't even think the Space Rock took 1 single wound. I don't think the Space Rock took a single fucking wound the whole game. Space Rock was just like, boom, coast to coast. Went from the north, went to the east, went all the way from south, north to east. Just didn't even bother going west. Alright, guys. Take care. Till next time. Peace.